good for mics? Okay, cool.
Welcome everyone. Episode Mama. I lost count. I think we're either 7 or something. Of Dandas and Chill. So our next guest is the fastest guest and the fastest member of the group Sideways. So truly.
Oh my word.
Quote me, you can come and measure his Sideways to 100.
Oh my word.
Look, he's very fast this one.
Come get your head start.
Do or die! Do or die!
No, let's make it quick. Next week, come get your head start. Because, just to make it easy, to prove my theory.
No, welcome.
Thanks so much.
And so let's get to it. I want to know, who are you, Chief? Like, how did you meet us? How did you start becoming part of the group?
Lord.
And yeah, we don't know.
There's a man smiling on the side. So, I'm Luis Machiga, right? Machiga, a bit. Typical petrol head.
That's not really cheap.
I happen to work as a techie, full-time techie. Cloud engineering, that's my kind of thing. How did I meet you guys? Well, unfortunate situations, very unfortunate circumstances. Dandas, as per the name. Chase was not a race at that point. Jesus. I'm not gonna say names.
Scary.
Father Abraham gave me a very big head start, and my word. What a rough. So, how I met you guys? So one day I was, chilling at home, and then I thought of, heading out. So I called my mate. I was like, some guy, Miesh, right? So he's from the Underground Society. So I called him up. I'm like, listen, man, how's about we meet? So I was like, listen, I'm looking to tune my car. I'm not sure about tuners. I'm unhappy with guys that I've met. So let's just hang out. He's like, hey, listen, let's go to Collab. So one random Wednesday afternoon, sat in traffic, went to Collab. Spent some time there, chatting with the guys and finding out what we can do. And then of course found out that I can't tune my car because I was a smart guy and bought a new car and BMW. So then after that he was like, listen, there's a place called The Rock, right? People race there, come, let's go. So the intention was we go to The Rock on Wednesday and then on Sunday we'll go into Midvale, where Miesh was going to be trying out his car. And then we got to The Rock, right? Early, bro. Just opened, sun was still out, parked up. It was boring, I don't want to lie, because it drizzled, so wasn't so full. And, Miesh like, let me show you how to launch a car. So, first thing he did was show me how to not launch my car, because, imagine launching an extract in second gear, guys. You don't have those issues, And then he done a few launches, and then after that, I started racing, started asking people for a race, random casual races. Struggled to actually find a race, funny enough. No one wanted to race me. And Lord and behold, my very first race was this other guy, Arastri. Yo, Jesus. Oh, guys. This guy shouldn't be my friend. I should actually hate him for what he did to me. So we get there, right? He's like, so Danny, right? So Danny was sitting there. And he saw me, Danny just saw me, he was at the line at the time. He saw me sitting and, by the car watching Miesh, race his car. And he's like, my man, do you have a race? I was like, nah. He's like, no, take on this other street. So just pop towards the line, right? I'm like, guys on the mood. He's like, come on, it's also stock. Well, it was very stock, right? So I was like, you know what? Stock for stock, let's just go for a ride. I get to the line there, and you just drive up and stop. So I knew Boggs, right? Poster. So he was there. And he was like, man, race this guy. I'm like, cool. He's like, don't worry, man. You learn. You remember last year you learned. Now you got to learn because I met Boggs at Unia. Right? And he's like, no, you'll be fine. Me expecting absolutely nothing, right? Get to the line. Yo, this guy starts reversing. In front of everyone, guy starts reversing. I'm like, yeah. I was like, alright, whatever, you know. Man, I'm like, ah, dude, it's whatever, right? And then the guy starts counting. He goes up. Literally, the guy's hands came down. I was still on the line. Like he's moving. Like he was, like he was side by side. Like he was in front of me already, and I was still on the line there. Yo, by the time I lifted off, guy was already in front of me. And that was my first race, and that's how I met him. And Lord,
Fortunate meet.
it was tough. And I was painful, man. We went around, we parked up, met the rest of the guys, and chat started going, and then said friend that called me there went and embarrassed himself racing Shana from Korea.
Oh.
Yeah, she was at the Rock.
At the Rock.
Yes. Yeah, it was the 240, the white 240. Hey, my man, as soon as he launched, the guy just spun out, like in dramatic fashion. So, then,
What the ultimate?
huh?
Ultimate.
Yeah, the current, or the F22, yeah. He spun out. He says he lost control. Some say he was, he was getting a high five. I feel like he just threw it, just to get some smoke and say that he was just getting a high five. Shana guy is dangerous. Shana's dangerous. You don't do that. You don't race her and then expect to win. She picks the races very well, and it was kind of embarrassing. And they're like, "Oh, that's your friend." I was like, "No." And then he somewhere went home after that. I'm like, you know what? I'm gonna stay for a bit, and that's how it was, And that Wednesday night became the next Wednesday night, and the next Wednesday night, and Jesus Christ, how many Wednesday nights was this in a row?
Yeah, I remember that time, like you was specifically going to start just to
Yeah.
call out anything with wheels.
That's exactly what was happening, right? So that was my oh yes, and listen here, man. After all this nonsense, right, and sitting with these guys, now we're gonna drive out and go home, right? So my range was about 90 kilometers away. Right? Not too bad.
Yeah, it should be.
I should be able to drive from from the Rock to Foy. It's not that difficult. So as we get on the highway, guys, I was told, don't worry, man, we're just cruising. Danny said we are cruising. So in my head, I'm thinking, oh, cool, we just follow each other, five decent guys, driving in the line, going, oh, all I just saw was, when cars start squatting, you hear them dropping gears. I chase. It's fun and games, we're on the highway, doing pulls on the highway, it's all fun and games, we're having a good time. I'm not looking, by the way, we're on the N12. I'm not even looking looking at my range. That time my range is this, man. And I cry about my car, man. 30 to 100 when you're giving it beans. And it just kept going and going. As soon as you got into the N1, I look at my range, but dashing. Mind you, this is an on-ramp.
I know,
There's no fuel station from that point. Nothing. So the nearest garage, which was safe, is on Rivonia Road. So I had to go from the N12 to. So I just literally was driving at about 20 miles an hour, pretty much creeping it there. And I made it. Cops, when I on-ramped onto Rivonia Road, the cops followed me and they're like, and then when and I was like, yo, fuel, I got nothing. And that was the night that I met her. You could say the racing bug really got me. That was because an ODI the year before, I caught hands to Golf R, a mildly tuned Golf R. Didn't know how to launch. In fact, I knew how to launch my car, but I didn't know how to time the car and tell hey, guy, give me a high.
I know we all know that.
Second race, he couldn't launch. I moved him, and I was so excited. He's like, no, I didn't launch properly. Third race, he repeated it. Hiding. I went home, man. The guy about doing this racing thing. That's how I was alone there, right?
Yeah.
But that's how I met the guys, and it just went from there. Wednesday nights turned into events. And the weird part is there's a video. I should actually find it, right? Of us on a run together in January. So we went to Viet Road House, the golf, the GTI RSA club versus.
Oh
Yeah,
yes. I don't think I went to like it was.
he was there,
Oh.
and literally he was in front of me the entire time,
Which is weird,
which is
right?
weird, right?
Because the Audi.
Yeah, because he drove in, right, and then I drove in right behind him, and that's when they took some guy took a video of me, turning the volume up. The car's quiet. That's why I went to the rock also because the car's loud. I felt better about myself. So yeah, then little did I know that about 2 weeks later, we'll be at the rock getting a hiding from the same guy. That's that's how I met the
But
guy.
it is a small world.
Small world
Yeah.
indeed, my man.
Okay, no, so let's take it back now to now when you were a kid. You didn't know what a clutch was, what a clutch plate, and what ethanol was, and the word Dandas. You didn't know anything. There was some car there with a clutch cable that that starts sometimes and sometimes it doesn't. The one way you learned how to drive, and you had to beg for them to teach you or to let you drive. So what car was that, and how was that experience?
So the first time I drove a car, right, was in grade 5. Right? So, what according to call a drive, right? My mom, we were just, we're just sitting there, and then just let me roll it off the clutch and just up the road because we had a very straight road. Let me go up the
Yeah,
road
yeah, yeah.
and then jumped off at the park,
Yeah.
to the mates. Then the next time I got to actually, like I said, I actually drove a car
What
was
car was
that was a Nissan Sentra,
it? Oh, the photo.
the four door, yeah.
Okay. What color was
Said
it?
it red.
Ah.
I didn't see the seat. That's an ugly car. But anyway, then when I actually got to drive a car was in 2008. The BMW 530D.
Oh.
Yeah.
Wow.
My cousin moved with us, right? He couldn't drive. And my mom was like, hey, Peter, do you want to drive? And he's like, nah. He was a bit scared, right? And then she's like, no. I was like, yeah. I was in grade 8. I was like, let's go.
But it was automatic.
It's an automatic car. First problem happened, right, was throttle control. I mean,
Yeah, yeah, and power.
and,
yeah.
and the car was pretty talky, so
yeah, yeah.
I tapped the throttle and I almost went into my mate's grade, like, because on a bend,
No.
right? So that I would just floored
Don't
it.
have big engines, those things.
Yeah, it was if I'm correct, it's an inline six diesel. Yeah, inline six diesel. Just need to remember which one it was. It was an E. So what was it again? Before the E60s. Which one was which model?
We'll look it up.
We'll look it up, huh? That's the one before the E60s, right? That's what she had.
And you-
White 530D. And whoo-wee, Jesus Christ. Yeah. It almost
But you
ended in
managed to
disaster.
drive.
And then she's like, now relax, slower. I drove, creeped around slowly, and then started driving. And, then the next time I got behind the wheel was in 2010, actually. So, full refusal. They're like, nah, you're not driving ever again. My grandparents is like, nah.
What?
They're like, just because your mom let you doesn't mean you should.
Oh.
Yeah, and I was living with my grandparents at the time, right?
Yeah.
So then I stole my grandfather's 3 Series.
Which one?
So he had a 318.
Which is-
No. Not the Kushesha. The Dolphin.
Just-
I think it was the G3.
Yeah.
The facelift.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That's a nice car.
that's a nice car, bro.
Nice car.
Very nice car,
I
right?
hope you do Chris.
Story. So, stole the car, was home alone and
That was a man.
was a manual. And funny enough, at the same time, my grandmother had the exact same car, but in white. Hey, basic.
Power couple.
Power couple, but Muruti never Muruti, guys. These guys were doing the most. So, jumped in the car, right? My grandmother, so what happened was that my grandmother hated driving that car. Not because it wasn't the same car, but because it was parked on the crappy side of the garage. So both garages, the right side of my grandfather's park was crappy. The garage was messy, like you couldn't really open it because it was faulty and you didn't want to fix it. Um, as soon as you come down the slope, you have to turn immediately, and the wall's right there, so she just hated that whole situation, right? And the hill was much more steeper, and she just didn't like it because of the hard clutch in BMWs. So one day she reversed it out, right, halfway. My grandfather was gone, right? Grandmother car had issues, so there was only one car in the yard at the time. So my grandfather had left, to work. Oh yeah, he had the Renault Clio at the time, Baba Vu,
Yeah, yeah.
white one. Yeah. Dog, guys, that's the name of the car. Grandmother hated the Clio, so she made him drive it and she would drive his car. So she couldn't get it out of the garage, and she couldn't ask me to reverse it either, right?
Yeah.
So she left it on the slope, and then some random outie that was just driving past saw she was struggling, and he drove it back up, right? And soon after that, her friend picked up, and she went off to work. And then when that happened, the car just parked on the slope, and the next day she left the car there. It wasn't in the garage, it wasn't out, just parked there. She's like, listen, I'm going to church. Off she went. The miss was here, bro, the keys. I was home alone, she was coming back on Sunday. So off we go, right? Mate of mine visited, we went to the club, practiced and normal things, nothing crazy. When we got back, right, so I was still struggling with clutch control at the time. So my work ethic was like, listen, man, you just drive, right? Because you've been driving for a while, you just drive and then we'll be good. Fine, he drove. A friend of mine, yeah, drove us home, and then they wanted to go to the shop to buy drinks, right? And I was like, yeah, bro, you can buy, and I'm gonna just chill. 'Cause I was with my then girlfriend,
This
right?
is great.
Grade 10.
Okay. Great girlfriend.
My then girlfriend. Yeah, so as that was happening, he gave it to another dude that was in our school, and that dude somehow went and hit
Wait, which car was this? Your grandmother's
my grandfather's car.
grandmother's car.
Yeah. So you know those drainage holes on the roads?
Yeah.
So this guy Imani was given the car. Why, I will never know. He apparently got excited because he's like, yo, can drive a BMW, and he just floored it, hit that manhole, like you hit the wheel and then you pop the tire. Luckily it was just a burst tire and nothing more than that. Right? Car came back, we parked on the hill, the slope, and kept quiet. My grandfather lost his mind, he was angry, his wife, I was like feeling the fist. I know nothing. I can't drive, right? So that was it. That was the first car that I actually drove, and following that, yeah, that was it pretty much. Then it was the Renault Clio, the love of my life for the longest time.
So okay. So talk us through now the Renault Clio. Was that the first car you bought?
No, so my grandfather had the Clio, and
Oh.
because he was tired of driving them, apparently fuel efficiency, all that nonsense, right? So he bought Renault Clio, the Clio 2, Mama Voom. And with two speakers, man. You know the one with the bump? Yeah, that one. That's a car I drove essentially the most. Yeah.
And did he give you that car?
No. So I took it back. The first problem was that when he bought it, my grandma was like, listen, give it to him to drive. Guy was like, nah. So that's the car that I was officially taught how to drive in. He was just shocked that I could drive, but I guess,
Yeah.
that's the car I did my license in. I did my license with a car that had a failing handbrake, by the way. Somehow I made it. It has three-cylinder engine, but only two worked. And I still managed the steep hill. I failed my first license test, because it kept rolling. I mean, it was only about two cylinders with brakes on a failing. Second test, I went alone. I drove out of town, one man, with just a booking paper and my learners. I got on the N1, drove from Polokwane to Portis. On the N1, one man. Got to the trading center, like, tell who brought you to bring the car in. Yeah. I'm just there like, kind of brought me here. So I asked a random guy there, like, listen, can you just drive the car in? And yeah, I managed to get my license. That was the car that I was taught to drive in. But funny enough, as soon as I got my license, I was not allowed to drive the car anymore. Grandfather didn't like it, so my grandmother gave me a car to drive. So she had a C270, the 203. Yeah. C270 203, the diesel. drove the living crap out of it, blew the turbo, blew one of the turbos on that car, doing crazy things. We had an overload. I think there were about 11 of us in the car. Got caught with 11 of us in the car because the owner drove past us. Because there was what's it called again? Was it 40 days celebration
Yeah, yeah,
for the matrix
yeah,
for the
yeah.
matrix of that year, right? This was 2011, and we went to join them, and I had 11 people in the car, including myself. Blew the turbo, started whining. It was bad. It was bad, man. And then yeah, that's where my driving journey sort of began. Yeah.
Yo, I know that's crazy. But okay, so now then after that, so it was the Clio, then the Merc.
Yeah.
Then what came after? Did you then buy your first car?
No.
No,
So, still driving my grandmother's car. So then she went and bought an E2, was it E280? Yeah. When I was in matric, she bought an E280.
What? Sedan?
No, it's the E280, the sedan. Yeah. So, because the C-Class was giving problems, she bought an E280, right? And that was my car, because I drove it everywhere. Had my first accident in it. Had my first. It's the first time I hit a pole. In fact, the only time I hit a pole was with it. So it's 2 accidents and a pole. That's what the car's been through with me. Yeah. Start with the pole and then the accident.
And with all these cars, you were never into modifying.
Nothing was. In fact, I hated it. I didn't like. I honestly hated the idea of it. I was more into, nice cars, luxurious, kick
Out of
back,
the
relax,
box.
out of the box, must look nice, be soft. That was my kind of thing. Road trips, go somewhere far and just drive.
But even games would need to speak because that's the time we were.
Oh no, I was crazy good at that. Underground 2, my Escalade guys. That boot, other boot was banging, bro. I loved it in game, so I've been a big gamer all my life, right? Need for Speed was my thing, but then that's where it ended. Really, just happy
So
with
never translated to
with
like
Underground 2.
two.
That was about it. And then, but for my own cars, I never wanted to. I just buy one that suits my my spec. That's about it. I was a spec junkie since I was young, so
Yeah.
still a spec junkie.
And
Still a
then-
big
and
spec
then-
junkie.
And then after that,
Then after that, went to varsity. Then the Clio came. Then it was given to me to drive because my grandmother said so, and husband couldn't say no. So that was me in the Clio until third year. The end of third year, then of course, then it was given back. I was going to work. When I finished in that gap, right, you're gonna work now. You'll buy your own car. And 2015, October 21st, 2015. Yeah, I bought my first car. Against everyone's, discretion and choices. I was like, you know what?
but why? I mean,
It was a bad. To be honest, it was the best, worst financial decision I ever made.
why is it because of the car you bought?
So I bought a VW Polo, the 6C.
Yeah.
How I bought it was just, so what happened was that I lost my license, right? And I was in an Uber. So I went, so my girlfriend's like, listen, dude, go fetch your license, man. Because now we were, she's like, bruh, you're busy driving, so she had a car at the time, right? She's like, whenever you're driving, the cops stop us, now we must tell stories. Right, bruh, let's go fetch a damn license from Marlborough. Because sitting in Marlborough. And I worked at Bank City, so the travel to Marlborough, no taxis, car train doesn't get you there, there's just a lot of admin just to get there. So I was like, it's fine. One day after work, popped in an Uber, went to fetch my license. As soon as I picked up my license, I was driving back to my place. I was living in Morningside. So on Woodley Drive, we're driving past, I'd been saying I wanted I-20 the whole time,
Yeah.
right? Then that's what I-30, like, guys, if I can find the right I-30, I'm gonna buy it. So weren't finding it for like 5 months, and I just give it up, like, whatever. But I'll find the I-30, and I will buy it. And as we're driving on Woodmead Drive, I'm in the Uber, I'm on the phone in the back. I look right at VW, Barron's Woodmead. There's an I-30 parked there at that traffic light. I didn't even ask the Uber driver to drive in. I'm like, bruh, end the trip. got out the car, walked. I didn't even know how far it was. I just walked out, like, it's the side. Just kept walking. And then when I got to Barron's, mind you, there's like a hill to get to the used car. But I had to walk up. I was tired already. It was hot. I walked up there, saw that I-30. And I'm like, I want this car.
Yeah.
Jumped in, they gave me the keys. Like, oh, fine, go take a drive.
Yeah.
And that was the first test drive I ever got. Everywhere else, they told me to apply for finance, this, that. You know, when you get approval, all that nonsense.
Yeah.
They were like, yeah, bro. Guy, get the keys. We drove off, and I hated it. It was pathetic. It was, Jesus Christ, it was a horrible car. It looks good, but it was horrible,
You know,
man.
this anticlimax is what I went through with the. Is it I-30N? What's the blue 100, the 600,000 one?
I-30N. Oh no.
The biggest anticlimax, my man. I went to the launch at Hyundai for something.
Yo.
I was so excited, bruh. I couldn't sleep. I was so excited that I was gonna get to drive that car. I've
my
been
word.
watching it on YouTube for like a whole
I mean, it's
year or two, bruh.
heavily hyped.
Bruh, I got into that thing. I stole it. I stole it. The crash was all over the place. It's one of those things where, like, it catches somewhere. It's very smooth. It catches somewhere, and then the rest of it is just gives, as if like there's just nothing.
Oh no.
And then when you let go, it catches somewhere, and then it becomes stiff. You know, it's just like, yo, this is just so weird. It was just so weird to drive. It was uncomfortable. The seating was everything.
So,
but
yeah.
like on paper, like the features and the reviews, everything was good. But yeah, I
That's what happened to me, man. I was so disappointed, right? And the guy that I like, so my man, are you gonna do this? And you know what? I was like, then luckily I saw there was a cracked windscreen. I mean, they want to replace the windscreen,
Yeah.
right? Because they're like, listen, it was cracked when you bought it. We are actually gonna replace it before it sells. And I was like, yeah, replace it first, then call me. So while that guy was, you know what, he actually organized a windscreen for the car. You know, I feel so bad.
Nobody was in it.
He was anyway, right? So as I walk down that hill, I get to the exit, right? Where the cars, when you buy a car, like there's an exit where they come on the initial floor. And I look in, I'm like, let's see what's in here. So I'm walking around and, you know, guys there's like, hey man, need help? I was like, I'm not sure. He's like, okay, cool, I'm by my chair. I'm like, you know what? Let's see what it can get. I'm like, my man, I'm like, so what can I buy here? He's like, what's your budget? I was like, listen, I saw the polos are retailing for 219. I didn't know that what is on that, you know, on Auto Trader, like that magazine, you know, these car mag and stuff. It's just a figure, but on the floor there's options, all that nonsense. I didn't know any of that. And it's like, yes, but then not a single one is at 219. I was like, but the price is 219. He's like, yeah. So he told me, you know, these optional extras. He showed me all the extras. I was like, okay, that looks great. Not a fan of sunroofs. So I was like, listen, I don't want a sunroof. I don't want a sunroof. And he's like, I'll change your mind. So he goes and he fetches this blue polo, like, you guys, you know that baby blue in the 6C? He fetched. And you know what? That car, to be honest, was spec through leather seats, heated.
Was it the blue line?
No. It was just a normal comfort line with everything. Like from the leather seats, which were an option for like 1 year on the 6C face of the facelift. And heated seats, the sunroof, bright mirror link. Before the times when we had CarPlay, it had mirror link. You plug your phone in on the screen. That car was spec to the roof. And he's like, don't you like this? I'm like, you know, and the moment we drove out, I was like, this, you know, it's talking. And it's a 1.2 liter. It's a 1.2 liter. The twin turbo. It's a twin turbo engine. It's like you literally put your foot out and it has that sound. You know that 3-cylinder sound. Yeah, that sound. And it goes right. It for a normal car that size. At that time, for us, it weighs nothing. It goes like stink. Like it honestly goes like stink for the normal guy. And off we went. We drove up when we came back, and I was like, my man gave me a polo. I said, what color do you want? And I was like, what do you have? Like, let me go my piece and check, and you can have a walk around the floor, you know, have a look at other cars, you know, for now. So I walked around, and behind the Touareg was the car that I eventually bought. Silver, silver comfort line, zero options. Just the just the upgraded infotainment. That's it. Right, the composition media, whatever they called it. That's all it. Huh? I literally walked on. So name the car Silver. Right, I walked on, saw Silver, and I was like, "Oh man, give me this one." And he's like, "Why that one?" I was like, "This one, my man." And he's like, "Okay, cool. Delivery will be tomorrow." And I'm like, "Oh, called an Uber." Got in an Uber.
That's Uber.
or went home. And funny enough, everything got approved, right? So approvals came in, everything was done. He got me the best, he even went as far as getting me the best rate. Because when I got a rate, he's like, "Nah, that's too high. Screw those guys," and got me a great rate. And he's like, "Do you want to plan?" I'm like, "What do you mean?" He's like, "No, like an extended service plan." I'm like, "Yeah, yeah, why not?" It's like, "How long?" I'm like, "As long as you think it's good." Like, "Yeah, 100,000 kilometers, 5 years, bruh." Extended the plan. Came in, knew absolutely nothing then, right?
Max it. I can max out. If they offered you rims, that's max it out.
Right? It's fine, right? They put everything, the special grabs, the whole 9 miles, called me. They're like, "Listen, we'll organize insurance for you." They called insurance houses to give me insurance, and I missed collection day. So now the car that I was so in love with, I missed collection day.
Why did you was the following days?
My man. So what happened was that the following day was a company event called Poiki,
Oh,
right? Where we go to a big stadium, and it's like a Poiki competition between teams. And it's just everyone has a good time. So I completely forgot I had to go fetch a car. And then the following day, I went to him. I called him like, "I'm coming now." He didn't even have time to do the whole bow thing. And I got there, took my car, and drove off. And that was my first ever car.
Yeah.
That's how it is.
Now, so when you stay with your girlfriend,
No, we weren't. So yeah.
yeah, and then the experience now driving it out, your first drive, where did you go? What did you do?
Yo, I dropped that thing. Boy. Listen, dude, I driven fast before, right? Like in the E-Class, I would, snap cruise control on 160, 170, driving with the reins in the car, just off we go. But on that, dude, it, like, we jumped in, and then my boy doctor came, right?
Yeah.
Parked his car, and we went for a ride immediately. And I was giving it some, man. But it felt good, man. It's responsive. It's a really nice car to drive. And then the drove around the block, came back, and then I went straight from there, went to the missus. And then I didn't tell her I bought a car, by the way. She knew absolutely nothing about that. In fact, she was like, "You're not buying a car." She's like, "I've got a car. There's really no need for you to be buying a car. Let's save some money. We eat together almost every day." Because literally what used to happen is that we'd wake up in the morning and I would go there and go to work. After work, it's either her that deals with your place or mine. So we take people living together. It's always a your place or mine situation. And that's how we're living. And I was like, no. Bought that thing, went to her. She was like, "Oh." And then she's like, "Bring the keys." And then she drove it for about 2 weeks. I didn't get to drive my car. And the first time I drove my car after she took it, someone drove into me. No plates. Nothing. We were in Hatfield. A mate of mine was with his mate, and just drove into me. Standing still. I was not moving. I was at a stop sign, and the guy just drove into me and he said, "Sorry." I had no plates, and that's how the first 2 weeks of my car ownership was.
That's it. Did she like it or did she love it?
She liked it a lot more than her car.
Yeah.
She just hated it didn't have leather seats though. That was
Didn't have what?
leather seats.
Oh, leather seats.
Kia Rio was fancy. Kia Rio was very fancy.
Yeah. No.
I mean, those are very fancy cars. Spec people, right? I mean, they had LED headlights and a sunroof. All these things were fancy, man.
Yeah.
Full automatic air condition as well, bro. They were fancy as hell.
She wanted a Rio. That was one of the cars of my show. Someone ran into you? How bad was it?
Oh, it's about 40 grand worth of damage when they drove into me. New car, no plates. He said sorry. Yeah, and that was it. And then about a year and a half later, in Cape Town, the same thing happened. A car was just parked outside, and someone just decided to give me, a little kiss. And then a year and a bit, about a year, about was it what? Yeah. Then the following year, after that happened, right? Someone gave it another kiss, and I knew that it's time now.
Yeah, it's the best side.
But got the car fixed, settled it till 2020. C class came in. Still drove the Polo quite a lot, This is driving the C class a lot. And yeah, then COVID came, working from home, paying two cars. We were like, but I still need the Polo. And then, yeah, we buy cars came in. The car was shit. I mean, it had flat spots on the rears because I was doing handbrake turns. The rear bumper was broken. They couldn't see because of a very light crack. We buy cars gladly took it and called it a day.
So it was never modded, no?
Never.
People mod their photos so much, not even a sticker.
Not even a sticker. Oh, I'm like, I had a bank made sticker, for medical aid. Yeah, that's what I had. And Discovery Insure sticker as well. That's all we can wish for. Discovery Insure and bank made stickers on it. Nothing fancy. I almost put a sound system in it.
Yeah.
Then I sold it, though. Then that happened.
And what was the thinking behind this?
So,
Let me put another. What were you thinking when you put a system?
Mrs. sent, so she had been in a car accident, right?
Yeah.
Earlier that year, right off on the A3. So she was like, we need a car because Donna's going to school and we need two cars, right? She was going to crash. So, like, that's fine. So, looked around to see what we could find. And somehow, got an email from work saying Mercedes-Benz special, 130,000 and off plus 5% for staff.
These phones can yell. There's no way. You're looking for a car and then you get an email on
I shit you not, bro. So C200 came with a ding on it,
Oh, yeah.
which was weird on delivery day, right? And Mercedes-Benz played as if they didn't know what happened. You know how these guys are, man. They want to make the sale, they want the delivery note to be out, they want the bank to process
Isn't that
payment,
the
right?
one? So isn't that's the same one you told us about?
Yeah. So first one,
The one with the back-
yes.
The first one you rejected.
First one I went to
With the-
see it
with
and
the light.
I rejected it, right?
I mean, with the mirror. Sorry.
Yeah.
And
The
then
second one came. The first one had door damage and fender damage. Second one had damage to the mirror.
Second one.
Second one. And so after a lot of, they were very good negotiators, so they replaced the mirror. They tried to sell it as is. Got them to go order a new one, like an entire, because remember it's just a cover, right?
Yeah.
Order a brand new cover, order new clips, and replace it. But yeah, that came in because kids had to go to school, and then Polo went. Polo sold for a very good amount of money also. Shocking. For a car that was purchased for 200 and it was 242 with the increased plan, right? Sold for 188. 5 years later, with 96,000 kilometers on the clock, damaged bumper, flat and flat spotted rear wheels. Funny story, only one wheel on that car did not come with the car. So I never changed tires, ever, for 95. The two rears were the rears that the car came with. One front, right, was what you call, because the rears were actually still in good condition, right? Because I didn't drive it that hard. The one front was the spare wheel, and then I bought one left. Yeah, and that's how it went.
Okay, and then now coming, we said COVID. That's really
COVID, Polo left, then sat with one car. So we sat with one car for another 2 years.
Yeah.
Perfectly fine. I mean, worked out. I mean, worked from home, school
C200
run.
was the-
Yeah,
was the
C200 was
sedan.
everyone. Yeah, sedan. Looks very nice.
White?
No. Majov silver. Yeah. Very hard to describe to the normal person what the hell that is, because it's not silver.
Yeah.
It's not charcoal either. It's like a champagne color.
Yeah.
Yeah, but more
Is
silvery.
Is it close to matte or?
No, no, it's very shiny, very gloss. It's a metallic finish. So yeah,
Yeah.
very nice car actually.
And what did you like about it?
What what don't you like about it? And what
Yeah.
wouldn't you like about?
I need to know from the
To be
from the
honest, right? It looks, dude. The W205 was is in fact, my opinion, one of the best looking C classes they've ever made. Like it just, especially the facelift, it just looks great. Like Chrome was an S class thing, right?
Yeah.
The C classes wouldn't come with Chrome, but that one came with, if it could be Chrome, it was Chrome. Like inside, Chrome everywhere, metal finishes, lots of leather. It The new C class was more plastic than it. Everything was, it just worked. I mean, the digital display, massive center console screen, for its time, and it looks the part. I mean, then of course,
You're right that it's quite classy, and
yeah,
that's when they started like sort of blending the C and the E,
yeah,
making the C quite classy. But it's actually, if you look at it, it's more closer to an S.
yes,
Then take some
yeah. I
elements
mean,
from
it
the
had.
S.
I mean, the biggest selling point is that you have got a panoramic sunroof that is the size of the entire roof. And that was if I'm correct, that was the first C that came with 64 ambient lights. Oh Jesus! See that? That was the plug. Like one day, everyone was like had their own color. One to be red and different shades of purple, different shades of it. That car was a small S class. They got it bang on. That was just the new one is rubbish, but that one was perfect. And yeah, that's I feel like it looks better than a lot of cars. In fact, it looked the part.
So you were never. It doesn't sound like you were a performance guy.
I was a performance guy, just that my performance is just more than I can afford. you know, um, I'm a
But
big.
not even like, I mean, look, at price range of 600, you can get a hot hatch.
Yes, at that price range, you definitely, I think that
Even
was
body ST.
that was RS3 pricing actually at the time, give or take. Like you're about 80 grand off an RS3, 80, 90 grand off an RS3 at the
So what
time.
made you
You were 80, 90 grand off an
stay away
A45 at
from
the time. Wasn't much, huh?
what made you stay away from even like the lighter hatches? Body GTI. Because I mean, a lot of our guys even have gone through such.
I wanted a manual Golf 7 GTI.
Uh huh. So what happened?
Found one in 2016, couldn't afford it, and it stayed as a pipe dream. When I could afford a manual Golf 7 GTI, there weren't any at all. And that one car popped up on Auto Trader last year, and I laughed. I was like, "Wow, this car made it this far. Very low mileage, one owner. Guy loved it." But I mean, I already had another car, so
Yeah.
why would I buy a slow car? Guys.
And then the Beamer story, when that started. So
Ooh-wee.
when you were, what was the thinking process? I mean, you already had the C200, comfortable.
Polo's gone.
Okay, the Polo was gone. So then now we're out of COVID. 2021 came, it's now the end of 2021. Now we are going around. So now what was the story there? And how
So
did it get to now be?
it, I think it was, something weird. So when saw the C class and stuff, right? I was at ABM, Pyramid Madrid. The G20 was launched, and I told my friend MJ, I was like, "Bruh, G20, my man, wow!" Like in my head, I was like, "Jesus, that looks amazing." I was like, "I've seen good-looking 3 Series, but that one was the first that was like, yo." I'm like, this is it. But then 330 was 880 at the time. Well, was 780, right? And then we had an option between a 320 diesel or 330i. Same price, spec to the roof. That's all you had, right? But then um, the guy from ABM, the owner, it just happened that later that day I wanted to test drive at ACW.
Okay.
Right? And I'm not sure if it's his wife or the lady that works there. I think it's because his wife looks very similar to that woman that said no, right? She said you can't drive it because it's a high performance vehicle.
Little did you know.
100 watts, 170 kilowatts. 100.
What's that?
The mini JCW. She said the high performance vehicle. I was like, oh, that's that's interesting.
Disappointing on many
So she
levels.
took me on a passenger ride.
You kidding?
Where she drove.
She drove it, and she drove it like
She
it's a,
really drove it.
she drove it like a granny. I was like, okay. Then she floored it. I'm like, this thing's slow. It's like, so you still was like, no. And I, I left. Boom, C class happened. Jabu, the guy that sold C class, met him. Um, so fast forward last year, woke up one morning. I was like, I feel like a car, but I was like, not sure what I wanted, right? I was like, X5. We're talking with MJ again, speaking. He's like, but I get a BMW. I was like, no, bro, just try something. Like, I like the X3, so I was looking for X3 30D. So I'm like, I want a diesel, and I don't want a slow diesel because the 20D is just slow. And looked around for X3. Then when I went to go test drive an X3, I found a Jaguar F-Type R convertible with a straight pipe. Jesus Christ. Then I didn't want the X3 anymore at all, right? After driving, I think just hearing it, nah? It's as if like the F-Type R, man. Yeah, bro. Roof down, straight pipe. You can imagine driving through the south, like driving through fours, like the south. And I was like, wow. I'm like, yeah, but do I buy this thing? Now in my head, I'm thinking, how do I justify this? Because I have to go home to a whole adult in the house. There's an adult in the house who will see it and be like, and then, right? She will be very unhappy as well, right? So I was like, pipe dream went to. I still want an F type, right? It'll be like a second car. Then I went on, and then that was January, and then I saw a status, Uchab. He's like, he posted at BMW, right? And then I started posting BMW on his status, and I was like, this guy was from Mercedes Benz. The hell is he doing posting BMW content? Because we're his clients, we can see this stuff. Then I went to I saw his Instagram page, like Jabu Empower. I was like, bro, don't you work for Mercedes Benz? Like, nah, I'm at BMW. Come have coffee.
Next thing is at the rock.
I went to have coffee with Jabu, right? I saw his new workspace, we chatted. He's like, when you want a car, call me up, hit me up. There's a whole web page, what, go online, buy a car, check out, all that shit. So I went on the page, kept scrolling through 320D, 320D, X3. I spent months doing it, like January and February doing this. In March, I get a call from BMW. Just minding my own business, sitting, playing Call of Duty. I'm like, why are they calling me? I don't own a BMW. They're like, hi, we see you registered a profile and you've been searching for cars. Blah, blah. Would you like to drive one? What are you looking for? We've seen you look at 320Ds. I'm like, test drive. They're like, yeah, we can organize a test drive, of the car that you'd like. It's about 45 minutes. It's a great experience. I'm like, huh? We spoke about a 340. I'm like, no, not 320D, 340. Or an X340i. I'm not sure which one I want. I'm not even sure if I'm going to buy the damn thing.
Yeah.
Cool. Off we go. They're like, no, someone will call you. I got a call from a guy called Mark. So he's a BMW Bryanston. He's like, hey man, we've got a 340 here if you want to come drive it. Whenever you're ready. But now the thing is, I just had foot surgery. Right? So I'm like, I need to drive this car. But I'm like, I just had foot surgery. And then I call Umpo, my doctor, the late family doctor. I'm like, bruh, I know you cut my foot open. Can I drive? He's like, dude, you drove yourself home after that. I'm like, yeah, but it's like, but don't keep driving, my man. It's not a great idea, right? So while he was saying all these things, he's like, but you'll be fine in about a week, right? Then you'll be okay. I'm like, okay, listen, Mark, in about a week's time, off I go. Foot is sore now, the bandage off now. Every time I stepped on it, I would still bleed from the stitch. And I was like, I'm going there. I get in the car, just try. I didn't say anything. I just said, I'm going to the shop, I'll be back. Went to the chemist, my foot hurts. Some long soppy story. Off I went, and I got to be in Bryanston, and there was this, what's the grey called again? It's Sophisticated grey, that dark grey. It was parked there. And he was like 340, and it's like, This is from Pumalanga. As he's saying this, guy's taking off front plates. He's removing the front plates, removing the rear plates. He's like, nah, deregistered. Takes out the dinner plate, throws it there. He's like, you ready? I was like, yes. Like, okay, cool, man. Should I drive it out or will you drive it? Now I'm a bit shaky myself. I've driven faster cars, but I've never driven them hard, right? And I knew that this would be the first time I'm going to jump into a fast car and I'm going to give it some. Jump into that thing. We drive out of William Nickel and he's like, so the route's going to be quite long. I hope you don't have commitments. I was like, quite long? Yeah, it's going to be quite long. Oprah made long, my man. Hey, we took that N1, bruh. Took the N1. We drove, bruh. Yo! And he was like, why are you driving so slow? You don't have plates, man. I'm like, what? I shoot you not. He sat there. He just moved like Gearsbox and Sport Plus. And then he's like, he just started dropping gears himself. He dropped gears. And he's like, throw it, man. Yo! You see there,
Which way are we going? South
we're going south. You see there by the BP, big one.
Yeah. Osis.
So, Osis, right? He's like, I'm just stopping by BP, I'm gonna fill up. And I think he was baiting me to drive under that tunnel. As soon as we went down under, guy opens the windows, right? And he's like, drop a few gears, man. He's like, throw it that's the first time I heard the brab. Because I literally threw it and lift it off. He's like, lift off. As I lifted it off, I started laughing. I giggled like a child, my man. Hit the test drive, came back, we parked. And I was like, Mark, find me an orange one. And he's like, no problem. He went online, went on the site. He's like, okay, cool. Spec is a problem, parts shortage, but we'll find you a car. As we're looking, price came back, my man. Hey, it was
looking good.
Hey, it was not looking good, eh? Hey, it came back there. And came back, I'm like, yo.
So much.
I'm like, you know what? Told him, I'm like, bruh, finances didn't talk. That's how I'm sitting thinking, I'm like, oh Lord, what did I just do?
Mistake, yeah.
Like, and then, thank goodness, he came back and he's like, bruh, this car doesn't have the spec that you want. Maybe order a car. It should take about 4 months to arrive. I was like, madam, I'm coming like 4 months. Even better, right? Configurator, sent config. BMW said no. They're like, there's no Harman card, there's no laser lights, there's no this, there's no that, there's no this, there's no that. And I was like, yo, there's no options. And he's like, my man, I don't know, I can't do anything for you. Then I called Job, I'm like, wait, to find me a BMW. And he's like, you? I'm like, yeah. Find me a 340. And he's like, eh. Because he was like, you 340 doesn't mix. I don't get it. As soon as he sent, the blue one, I was like, shop. He's like, done. He's like, yeah. I'm like, I downloaded the OTP, I sent it, done. And he's like, when? I'm like, when does it arrive? And he's like, because on the site it said delivery within delivery within 2 weeks.
And this was what?
Last year, it was the BMW demo. Yeah, it was the BMW demo. It was like delivery within 2 weeks. I was like, okay, 2 weeks. I'm like, bro, when can this car come in? He's like, man, by Monday. Yo, Monday, I'm ready, bro. I'm like, weekend, I didn't sleep. I'm like, yo, it's coming. 340 is coming Monday. And he's like, bro, the car's not coming this week. I was like, I was upset, bro. You know, from that Monday until the Wednesday when he sent me a photo of the car at ABM, he just kept quiet. The car was there already, right? So he just kept quiet because he wanted to get the car in, because it came from Cape Town. So they had to do there's a lot of admin, and there's no way he could deliver it on Monday when we signed the OTP on Saturday. I mean, come on. He kept quiet. Yo, I'm sitting there, I'm like, yo, where's this car? Where's this car? Where's this car? And then he just sent me a WhatsApp. He's like, bruh, your car's late. I'm like, yeah? He's like, your car's gonna be very late. I'm like, he saw I blue ticked him. I just quiet, bruh. I was like, I was upset, bruh. And it was like, at about 5:30 in the afternoon, he's like, Boom. There's a photo of the cop, all doors open, in the valley, getting prepped for the delivery. Listen, I saw the photo at about 9 p.m. I called him. I was like, hey, tomorrow, tomorrow, tomorrow. And he was like, there's no way your car can be there tomorrow, my man. This car still, like BMW will not give you the car tomorrow. And then Friday came, and yeah, Saturday delivery from 12 o'clock, my man. Delivery happened at sunset. I mean, at 12, I was sitting there, my man. I was like, right, bring that car out. That part didn't have, dude, I had lost my ID, so I had to go to Home Affairs to make a temporary ID. My man, there was a lot of work that happened to get the thing in, man. And I just wanted the car. Huh? You know what? I love my car, man. So I just wanted, I don't know why. I don't like BMWs, guys. I'm not going to act as if I like them, né? But then there's just something, man. Just the drive. It's just, like, I can't explain it. Lucky guy knows. Drives a Dazzle, but he knows, man. Every time you jump out of a BMW, you're like, yo. You're like, wow. And there's something there, man. There's something. It's the drive, man.
Because if you look at the specs and interior and comfort,
Yes. There's lots of things I hated about it,
put
man.
that thing on and put it into gear and move.
Listen, I remember when I first got the car, now went around the corner. I drove out of ABM. So MJ was driving the C-Class.
Yeah.
I literally, guys, I was parked by the door. We went to the delivery bay at the back, took my car. Yeah? My son was in the 3. Yeah? Literally, when you got around the corner where the Mercedes was, I opened the window and I gave MJ the key. I was like, you'll follow me home. I didn't want to get back. I didn't want to drive the C-Class at all. I wanted nothing to do with that car. Absolutely. I think too, I want absolutely nothing to do with that car, actually. You know? And nothing. There's no missing, there's no maybe, nothing at all, my man. And in my head, I was like, my custom plates must arrive now. Waiting for my custom plates. Drove out. I remember as we left ABM, we turned left. You know, towards that Bridgestone.
Yeah.
MJ was literally right behind me. I floored it, right? I just saw him disappear. I laughed. I was like, we went around, came down Waterfall Drive, and I just gunned and just see that guy disappearing in the rearview mirror. I just see him went up Sunny Hill. Every time got to a straight, I just see that Mojave Silver disappear. Fine. And I knew that he's not going to catch me, even if he wanted to. He's not catching me. And that's the day I found out how bad fuel economy was. That off tank was finished the next morning.
What?
Yeah. I drove 98 kilometers. 98 kilometers. Emptied the tank.
On the first day.
First day.
And you never look back. Like,
No, never ever. You know what?
So now the car is still stock, but you put downtime, right?
Yeah.
But otherwise it's still stock. So what are the plans now? As we are waiting
Woo!
to see you call out other sixes.
Woo! Hey, Lucky my boy. Hey, Lucky my boy.
Please.
Hey, I can't wait for you, boy. Yes. Guys, in my head, man. You know, everyone people ask, hey, guys, but like, why can't you beat that RS3? I'm like, guys, RS3 is actually very fast. I think people have this misconception that an X-Drive, anything, can just take on a car that is lighter, like 300 kilograms lighter, has, 300 kilograms lighter. It's also four-wheel drive. And to make it worse, it's not even that. Like, ours is actually better by far, right? On top of all these nice things, that damn thing is more powerful. Like, it's literally the pace. Huh? No. You. What happened when you give me a head start? Okay, what happened the last time you launched next to me? What did you have to do? Okay, thought as much. So
what are you gonna do and when? Me, I can't wait.
So first things first would be so I'll be throwing in my Rogue exhaust. So got a nice date with Rogue, because neighbors seem to like me too much, so I don't like that. So getting an exhaust. Following that would be the Femto unlock. So as soon as the Femto unlock goes, guys, straight big turbo. I'm not wasting time. Hybrid turbos for girls. Hybrid turbos for girls. That's my 2 cents. I mean, it costs more. To be honest, I mean, a hybrid turbo bowl is really expensive. But the turbo is like north of 100 grand. I mean, get a big turbo, very big turbo for like less than half the price, right? So it's gonna be straight big turbo. Not much. So I'm looking at more of a sleeper bowl. Of course, you open the bonnet and you see what's what. But yeah, just a big turbo, a little bit more power. Not too much.
Just enough.
Just enough. There's a few people that I like to piss off.
Yeah. No, it's still recording.
Still recording.
Yeah, we just have a few, maybe 2 minutes left or so.
Okay, cool. Cool. So yeah, just big turbo bowl. Something that I can still drive daily. Something I can still drive regularly as well. I mean, I don't want a car that lives at a workshop like an Audi.
Yeah.
Those kind of things. So that's about it, but just a big turbo bowl, sleeper, that's it. Nothing cosmetic. You won't know what you're getting until you call me out.
Yeah. And then okay. Alright, so you're gonna keep the looks the way it is.
Yep.
And they won't know until they can't see it.
Yep. Until the hazards come on, that's when they'll know that But that's about it, man. That's all I would do. And if things change, I mean, who knows? I might just go get that other car that downloads, 250 kilowatts the wheels, just by email.
Your car responds to your Wi-Fi connection.
Yeah, your car is for. Maybe I'll get that other one, so we just download, 9-second runs. Who knows? We'll see how things go.
Wait, no, thank you so much for coming, bro.
Yeah, thank you guys for having me.
Check us on the next one.
Which one?
Where we're gonna get someone.
Oh! Cheers, guys.
Shit.
It's very, it doesn't hesitate. It's very close.